This is like the 6th time I've tried to get this to work. Let's see if it actually works this time. Okay. I'm going to start talking just in the hopes that it works this time because I keep having issues. I don't know what it is with YouTube and their live streaming setup, and especially the way it connects to Prism. For those of you who don't do live streaming and don't understand what Prism is, I've only used it a few times now, but basically Prism is a streaming software that you can use to connect to your YouTube account and do live streaming. And you might wonder, why not just connect directly to YouTube itself and just use YouTube? Yeah, you can do that, but there are a couple of reasons why people, such as myself, are using Prism instead of YouTube. And the main benefit, in my opinion, is that I can actually connect and stream in 1080 by 1920p. You know, the full HD, at least the minimal standard for HD for the live stream. And so that's why I connect through Prism. Unfortunately, this is now the 2nd time I've tried and failed to schedule a live event on my phone or on the desktop and then actually go live using Prism. And for some reason, it just keeps acting stupid and doesn't work. So the last time I tried it, it messed up and didn't work. And this time I tried it and it didn't work. So I canceled all of that and I deleted all of the stuff that I had scheduled and just started a brand new stream, which is this one. So once again, I apologize. Now I got started at least 10 minutes later than I'd planned. Still not as bad as the other day because I think I was about 45 minutes behind. I literally sat, I'm not joking, the video I did the other day, I literally sat and I talked to what I thought was a live stream for about 45 minutes. It showed me on the screen on Prism that I was live. It had the minutes and the seconds counter on, and it showed me the whole time that I had 0 people in the live chat. So it said that I was live streaming like I was supposed to, but nobody was watching. I thought, well, it's kind of strange to have 45 minutes with nobody watching, but when I went to check it, I realized that my original stream that I had scheduled was still showing as waiting to start. So the stream that I did for 45 minutes was basically me talking to myself on Prism. How stupid is that? Right now I have 1 person in the chat. I don't know who you are, but that proves that that it is working, that, you know, it is live streaming now and it is on, so that's good. But anyway, I am a few minutes late, but just real quick, I'll give you a quick rundown of what we're going to do today. If you don't know me, my name is Brandon. I have about a 200-year-old Kominka here in Toyosaka in Higashi Hiroshima, Japan, which is East Hiroshima. It's way up in the north of Higashi Hiroshima, not too far from Miyoshi. If you look on a map and you look up Miyoshi and you look just south of there, you'll find North Higashi Hiroshima and Toyosaka, which is where I'm at right now. Today on my agenda, this is my van. I'm going to be doing some prep work in this van because I don't only live and renovate my Kominka. I live in it. I don't have an apartment or anywhere else to live right now. I just stay in my Kominka. And besides cleaning that and renovating that, I also am doing a few other things. And just to summarize, I'm also trying to get over kidney cancer. It's a tumor that I have. I'm trying to get over that, so I'm dealing with that. I'm also about to go back to school. I got my student visa here in Japan. I'm about to start studying Japanese at a language school in Onomichi, Hiroshima. And that leads me to the next thing, which is, because that's over an hour away driving distance, I've decided that I need to live as close to that school as possible, especially during the winter time, because I don't want to be driving back and forth 5 times a week. And I decided recently, in order to save money and just try to be as frugal as possible, I'm going to spend part of my time living in my van. And in order to do that, I need to first clean it out. There's some things in here that need to be gotten out. And then I also have to remove one of the seats in the back. The bench seat is already out, and one of the middle seats. I need to take the other seat out. And then after that, I need to see about blacking out the windows, putting down some kind of subfloor with maybe some insulation underneath it. I do have some aluminum reflective type insulation I'm going to put underneath that, and put down like some 1/2-inch plywood and make that floor flat. And after that, if I don't know how much of that I'm going to get done, but I hope to get done as much of that as possible today. And then after that, I'll see about putting in the futons, the mattress, the blankets, sheets, pillows, and that sort of thing. But anyway, let's get to it. I was just at Cafe Kurasu, Toyosaka Kurasu, which is my favorite cafe here in Toyosaka. And they fixed me some really nice tofu. It is so delicious. I'm telling you, if you don't like tofu, you'll like this. And if you like tofu, this will be your favorite tofu. Hey, Glenn. Good to see you. G'day. I just had somebody in here a second ago, and then they dropped. So I don't know if somebody was like, nah, forget that, and took off, or if that was you going and coming. But it's good to see you. Did you see my email, by the way? I emailed you back about the information and the pictures and stuff you sent me. But today, I think in this video, if you have time to check out what I'm going to be doing or whatever, you'll probably have an idea of the simplicity that I'm looking for. Especially if you saw my email. If you looked at my email, then you'll know very clearly the main thing I'm wanting to do. I want to black out the windows, of course. I want to have a subfloor with some insulation. I want to have a bed and a space for some simple things, like I need a space for a heater. I need a space just for like a hot water pot, and I already have one battery that has the solar panel. I think I mentioned all that to you, so I think that's enough to run to recharge my devices and run some lights and run my water pot. But if I want to do something a little more robust or higher wattage than that, then I'm going to have to do some extra work and get more solar panels, or maybe even a larger battery with a bigger capacity. Okay, yeah, you just arrived. Okay, so you just arrived on YouTube. That means that the first person that came in was like, hey, what's going on here? Nah, no thanks, and then they took off. They didn't say anything. They just came in for like 30 seconds and then left. So anyway, Glenn, what I was saying before, I won't rehash it too much because the people that are watching this video later, I don't want to bore them too much. But basically, I tried again today. I talked to Lemmy, my friend in Tokyo, because she does the live streaming stuff with Prism. She said that you have to schedule it on your desktop, and then you can do the live stream later on your mobile. And I did that, but for some reason, once again, when I tried to connect to that live stream and then use it through this software, once again it didn't work. So I'm 0 for 2 in scheduling a live stream and then actually using the Prism software later on to actually start and run the live stream successfully. I'm hoping that I can figure out the glitch and then have it fixed for next time. So I'm gonna message Lemmy again and ask her specifically what settings she used on the desktop when she scheduled it, because I know for a fact that she's using the Prism software and she's scheduling and posting her live streams on YouTube so that people know, oh, she's got one coming up at this time at 6 o'clock on this day or whatever, and they can actually click on the link and go to that page before the live stream even starts, and then she's able to start that live stream using the software. However, every time I've tried to do that so far, which is twice now, it's been a total muck up, and that annoys the crap out of me. That's like the double-edged sword of technology, in my opinion. It doesn't matter if it's a hardware issue or software issue or whatever. It always seems to me that there are these moments where technology just falls flat on its face or fails miserably, where something that's manual would not. I mean, if it physically breaks, that's one thing. But if it's not literally broken, then it works because it's manual. It's to me, it's much easier to deal with something like that a lot of the times than it is to deal with the electronic or digital nonsense, because it gets so ridiculously complicated and frustrating sometimes. And that's the way I feel with the connection between YouTube and this software right now. But enough of that rant. I got a latte from 7-Eleven. Somebody else in the chat, welcome, whoever you are. Actually, I wonder, I didn't mean to be in the van right now. I wanted to be back at the house before I started the stream, but because of the various issues here regarding the software and a couple of other things, I wasn't able to do that. So what I'm going to try to do right quick is turn this camera around. That way, while I'm driving back to the house, at the very least, I can try to give you guys a different view. Let me turn this around. Where's there we go. Nope, there's the 7-Eleven I was just in. I think I can raise this up some more. Yep, that's better. How about right there? Yeah, you're right. Technology tries too hard. People try too hard. I feel like no matter how much technology advances, I feel like the people who are creating this stuff, what they're actually giving us is they're trying to get it to do too much. So for example, it's like putting brand new software on an old phone. And that annoys me, because even when I'm editing videos, I would rather have a very simple video editor that works 100% of the time than the latest video editor that has like thousands and thousands of options and transitions and effects and all that sort of stuff. Because I guarantee you 100% that type of editor is going to consistently run bad. It will lag, it will stutter, it will freeze, it will crash. It would just constantly just test my nerves. And even when we had brand new iMacs, we had brand new iMacs in my university, and the entire classroom was full of these brand new iMacs. And one day I had to help install the Adobe software on all the computers, and the Final Cut software and all these other softwares. So we had all of the latest illustration and digital art and video editing and special effects suites installed on all these computers. And these were brand new computers, literally, with brand new software. And I can't tell you how many times my projects were either lost or I was set back because of these computers freezing and crashing and stuff with these software. So, oh, hey, Susan. Yeah, I'm live again. I'm going home. I'm in my van right now, and I'm gonna be home in just a few minutes and do a little bit of cleaning my van out, getting it ready, and talking about what I'm gonna be doing as far as living in it. I don't know if I mentioned that to you the other day, but because of the school, the Japanese language school, being a little far from my home, Monday through Friday, I'm gonna be living out of my van just while I'm in school during the week. And then on weekends I'll be back in my Kominka. So I need to do a little bit of cleaning and prepping for my van, and that's what I'm going to focus on today. So let's get rolling back to my house now that I seem to have everything kind of in order. You can see the drive from the main part of Toyosaka. all the way back to my house. If you go to the right, you'll go towards Saijo, which is the main city of East Hiroshima. But turn to the left, you go through the central main part of Toyosaka. On the right here is the big... Need something. We just passed the egg vending machine area. There's a local farm, egg farm, and they put eggs in the vending machines around here. So if you need fresh eggs, you can get them 24 hours a day from any of these vending machines. I don't have the phone on the gimbal today. Whoa, that's a long line of people. I wasn't expecting that. I don't have the phone on the gimbal. I just have it on the tripod because I'm not going to be moving it around too much today. So I thought it was kind of useless to put it on the gimbal. Yeah. Interesting and cold. Well, the good thing is that I think the heater that I'm getting is what you call, I don't know if you've heard of the cassette gas. It's literally like a bottle of kind of like propane. Imagine a bottle, like a hairspray bottle, but instead of hairspray, it has like propane gas inside. And you can buy these all over Japan, even in the convenience stores, because they have a few different things that can run off of this, quote, cassette gas. And these gas cans can run these cooktops. Some burners are just single burner cooktops. You can use them at home, or you can use them for camping or whatever. You just put that gas bottle in that cooker, and then you can light it up and have a gas stove. But you can also use it for some other things, like a propane torch, which you can use to start fires and stuff like that. And also, they have some heaters, and that's what I'm going to get. I'm going to buy this little heater that runs off of the cassette gas bottle. And you can buy a huge package of these gas bottles at Costco and save some money. So you can get a big box of them for cheap. That box will last a while. And this little heater is only about 70 bucks. I'm going to put that in my van and use that to heat the van. And a friend of mine asked me, if he listens to this, he's going to know I'm talking about him. I won't name him, but he said, won't that cause fumes or something? And he was worried about it causing fumes in the van. But I mean, I think I'm not a stupid guy, so I think that's kind of a silly question to ask me, because I know that I need to vent the van or any room. When you use a gas heater, you should always have a couple of things. One is you should have a way to vent the room, and keep some airflow going in and out. Plus, you should also have a little monitor to monitor the levels in the room to make sure that the fumes are not too high or not bad or whatever. These are just common sense things, and I think it's even more obvious. Yeah, Susan, you said be careful with the fumes. Yes, exactly. My point is, it's obvious when you have something like that in a small space, whether it's a room or a van. To make sure that you vent it out properly and you monitor it. To me, that's just like heating a space 101. So this van has 6 windows that I can open, and it has those little those covers on the outside of 4 of those windows so that you can crack the windows, but it covers the top of the windows so that you can open them even when it's raining. And from the outside, you can't tell that the windows are open, right? If you just open them like a couple of inches. So I can easily vent the van and keep the airflow nice and keep it warm at the same time without having to worry about the fumes. And so, since it's such a small space, you know, it's not a big deal as far as keeping it warm. Even though it gets pretty cold around here, it's not as cold in Onomichi where the school is, because it's basically sea level down there. But at my house, it gets down to like minus 14 degrees Celsius. However, when I'm staying here on the weekends, I don't have to stay in the van. I can stay in the house, in my room. And that's something that I need to seal up a little bit more. A little device. It's like a thermal imaging camera. That's my next target to do, my next goal to do after I get the van kind of cleaned out and ready to go, is use that thermal imaging camera to see where the cold air is coming from in my room, in the house, and then try to get those sealed up and insulated as best I can. That way, it becomes much easier to keep that room warm. It's so much easier to keep the bedroom warm when it's a little warmer during the day than it is at night, because, and you might think, well, duh, it's always colder at night. No, not necessarily, and especially around here, it can be a big swing. It can be like 17 or 18 degrees during the day, and it can get down to like 2 degrees at night, and it's a big swing. But if I can have the room relatively warm during the day, then I can close it off before evening, and it retains a lot of that warmth. And when I turn the heaters on, the room is more capable of retaining that temperature instead of dropping down really, really cold. But whenever it gets below zero around here, then it becomes quite the challenge to keep the bedroom warm. And that's because the insulation in there is almost none, and the cracks are everywhere. So it has lots of stuff that needs to be sealed or insulated in order for the room where I'm sleeping, the bedroom, to be comfortable and easy to warm up. Okay, now that I'm not driving, I can take a look at the messages here. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Susan. Yeah, almost midnight. Get some good rest. Thanks for stopping in, and see you next time. Okay. Well, actually, I'm gonna put my side view mirrors in. I can now drop this down. You look up at the sky right now, you can kind of see, like, over here, you can see the blue sky and the whiter clouds, and over here, it's a little darker with the darker gray clouds. And to me, that means around here, typically, it's going to be much colder. The air is going to be colder. The forecast tonight around here, I believe, is about 0 degrees, similar to what it was last night. Right now, it's just a little chilly. It's not bad, but the temperature is going to be dropping really soon. I'll set my coffee or my latte right over there. Okay. Set this here initially. I think right there is good, and I'll try to level it with the van. How's that? There we go. I made a boo-boo today because this box right here, I took it to the post office to ship it off, and I forgot that the local post office on Saturdays, they are either closed or they're not open late. So I can't remember which it is, if they close earlier or they're not open late. Only certain post offices are open during normal hours on Saturday, and none of them are close to here. So I put this in here for nothing. But I am going to send it off on Sunday, so I'm just going to put it to the side, and after I clean these things out, I'll put it back in, because I'm going to need to send it off later on. So we'll just set it right here. You can see what's in here. I'm going to raise this up just a little more. There we go. Yeah. Okay, as you see, I still have the tires in here and the rims when they swapped them out for me the other day. So I got to take those out right quick. This is like the rubber foam material I'm going to try to use to black out the windows. Set that to the side there. The tires are much lighter when they don't have the rims on them. Or when they are not on the rims, rather. Okay. I'm going to bring these right in there. I think I can set that right there. It'd be better if I set the tripod up to where it wouldn't fall down, right? There we go. I was in here just a little while ago, and instead of going all the way back in to lock it, I just put the rock on it. And that's not the actor, the rock. Okay. Let's get them tires. I can only do so much work before I need to take a breather. So whenever I do that, I'll check the chat messages. If any of you guys have any questions or comments, I'll be able to read them whenever I take a rest. So probably what I'll do right quick, I'll put these tires and the rims inside the kitchen there, and then I'll take a breather. Okay, 4 rims to go. Okay. Oh, goodness. I try turning this. Okay. Okay. I don't see any new messages on here. We got 3 people in there. Yay. Oh, man. Times like these, I sometimes think back to when I was in high school, and I used to be active every single day and involved in all sports. You know, I wasn't just a baseball player. For those of you who may not know this about Japan, when kids are in school and they start playing sports or doing certain activities or getting involved with certain clubs in school, it's much different than a lot of schools, or even most schools in America. I don't know how it is in other countries, like even some other Western countries like Australia or Britain. I don't know how they do things in their schools, like in junior high school and in high school. But basically, when I was growing up, in every year in school, I could play all sports. So we had like a season and a time for basketball, baseball, track and field. Even some schools had American football. Other schools might have soccer, etc., etc. Tennis. I mean, you might even have golf teams, stuff like that. You could have all these different types of teams. You know, of course, the bigger the school, the more sports you could have. But you weren't limited to just one sport. So if you wanted to play multiple sports, you could do that, as long as you had the ability and you could be on the team. You could make it on the team, and you could. You had the time, somehow, if there was the time, as long as there's not like a scheduling conflict. For example, if you have 2 sports seasons going at the same time, I would imagine that you'd have to be really good at both of those in order for the coaches to be okay with you doing both, being on both their teams, because it could be that sometimes you have to miss some games to be active in the other games in the other sport. But essentially, in the U.S., that's basically the way it is in most schools, is that if it's possible, then yes, you can do multiple sports and multiple activities, and clubs and activities are different than being on sports teams. Those are different. So if you are like an athlete but you love chess, you could actually be on the chess team or chess club and still be playing baseball or something like that. You could be part of the French club and still be playing golf or tennis. You can do multiple things, but here in Japan it doesn't work like that. The kids that are involved in, for example, the technology club, they only do technology club. The students who play on the baseball team, they only play on the baseball team. They can't be on the baseball team and on the basketball team and the volleyball team. They have to be on one or the other. They have to pick one and do that, and that's it. And I find that bad, and there are a couple of reasons why. But the main reason I find it bad is because you're taking away freedom of choice, but you're also making it difficult for young students as they're growing up, and young kids rather, to find and be exposed to things that they might potentially be not only in love with doing, but also really good at. Glenn says kids run away from school as fast as they can come. 3 p.m. each day. My day is very few after school activities. Yes, we have school sports, but it was just school hours. We had a variety of sports available to us, which you tried hard to be a part of, so you didn't have to do normal schoolwork. Yeah, well, obviously, if you're involved with a team, a school team, and there's a coach, and you have games, and they take it kind of seriously, they're going to be having a variety of practices and scheduled, and not all of those take place during school hours. Just for example, whenever I was playing basketball in high school, our PE was basically, we had basketball practice, so we would have basketball practice during that time, but that wasn't enough time to have enough basketball practice, and it's not enough time to have baseball practice or football practice or anything like that. So basically, it becomes an after-school thing. So you have to stay. If you're on a baseball, football, basketball team, that means you're going to be staying after school to have practice for a couple of hours or more, and multiple times a week, and sometimes on the weekend. So it becomes a dedicated thing. And of course, the schools here in Japan also do that. They also have practice, not just during school hours, but also after hours. The difference is that the kids playing on the baseball team are only going to be practicing and playing baseball year-round and not basketball. Let's see here. We had a variety of... Oh, yeah, you got that one. It's funny because, I was interested in getting away from school as fast as possible, but it was mainly because of the parts of the academic side, like science and math, and that I really couldn't stand those things. But history, art classes, language classes, I liked very much. But as far as school itself, I didn't like. I wanted to play sports, and so I didn't mind playing sports. I just didn't always like the coaches. Sometimes they were really crappy. Real Rhetoric says, in Japan, the reason you have only one club is to establish hierarchy within the club. Children learn how to negotiate hierarchy in more informal ways. Okay. Yeah, in the clubs, there's a pecking order. Japan revolves around hierarchy. If you took away the one club rule in the school, you would take away the imposition of hierarchy socially. Yeah, it's interesting, but, there are always upsides and downsides to everything. And when I was in Tokyo, I met a guy who actually works for one of the clubs, the soccer clubs in Britain. One of the English Premier League clubs, and he essentially works with the kids, the younger soccer players here in Tokyo, and his primary job is to try to identify up-and-coming talent that is really special and stands out above the rest, so that he can recommend them to go play possibly for a low-level club and maybe get into that Premier League club. So they're looking for talent in Japan, and that's what his job is, to identify and recommend that talent to the club. But he said at that time, that was a couple of years ago that I talked to him, but he said at the time he's recommended 0 players, and he actually wants to quit working in Japan and move back to the UK. Now, this is a Japanese guy, okay? He went to the UK and he worked there for a while, but then when he started working for this club, they sent him to Japan and sent him back to Japan and gave him this job of finding and scouting these players, working with them, practicing with them, and then finding the good ones and recommending them to the club as being potential future stars, But he told me that he was tired of it. He was done with Japan, and he now keep in mind, this is a Japanese guy. He literally said Japan is stupid, and he wanted to go back to Britain. And when I asked him why, this is what he said. He said that it will, until social things change in Japan, it will always be impossible to find such a player, to find a young prodigy who stands out and above, head and shoulders above the rest of the players, and actually recommend them to some foreign club as an outstanding individual player. And he said the reason for that is because from the time they're kids all the way when they're growing up, they're told over and over again not to stand out. And so how can you be a standout player if you're told not to stand out? So think about this. If you have a soccer team that could get 5 or 6 goals against another team because they have one player who's really amazing, and if they put him in a striker position and can learn how to feed him the ball and work with him and get 5 goals in a game and destroy the other teams, it makes sense to do that, right? But this is not encouraged in Japan. Their focus is you can't stand out as an excellent player like that. Your whole team must be basically equal. So a player, even though he has the talent, if he has the ability and the talent to become an outstanding, world famous and world class player, it's very rare for a Japanese player to ever become like that, and it's because of the way society is set up here. I consider that a bad thing. Now, I'm not saying that there should be this high focus on individualism, but to me there's a balance, and I think that America gets way too much criticism for being individualistic, because it's not, and nothing is as severe as the criticisms suggest or stereotypes suggest. So yes, America does have a much stronger focus on individualism and that sort of thing, but to me, when it comes to certain ideas or beliefs or educational societal things, America, I feel, is closer to the right side of the way things should be done, like when you're encouraging your kids and trying to get them to be the best they can be, because this thing that exists in Asian society as a whole, it's not just in Japan, but it's in Asia society, is this idea of not standing out too much. Don't be too different than everybody else. Don't stand up too much. You'll get cut down, and that's discouraging, you know. And here I am saying that when I come from a family that did nothing but discourage me. My family is American. I'm American, and my family did nothing but try to beat me down and make me just not stand out, make me be just like them. And to this day, I'm still an enemy to my family because I went a different way. I don't live in the same city. I don't live in the same country. I don't do the same things. And because of that, I'm an enemy to my family. But, each person needs to live their own life, and we should be encouraged to do that. So that's one thing I hope can get better here in Japan, is that they can encourage a healthy way of taking into consideration both what each individual person needs with their lives and the good of society. But actually, it's kind of funny, because if everybody, this is what I believe, every single person is born with a certain set of desires and characteristics and things like that are in their hearts, in their soul. It's literally who you are. And you have this desire to express that's naturally within you. If you can't express that, then you're never going to be happy. And I think that we as parents should, and as a society, should be helping our children as they grow up to find out what these things are and encourage them to do that. And if a child is really, really good at soccer, for example, we should be encouraging that and finding ways to make them better, as to be as good as they can, the best that they can be, and as happy they can be in doing that, as a family and as a society. So it's to me, it's a combination of things. We should become better as a society and do what's best for everybody, but at the same time, we can't sacrifice one for the other. We also have to do what's good for the individual. So I don't have what you would call a 100% America type angle on things, but I also don't have a pure Japanese view on things. Mine is kind of more in the middle. I think it's both. It's not either or, it's both and. That's the important phrase. Take it serious. The teachers were the coaches, and they did it to not be taking classes. Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, I had a few different coaches while I was in high school, and one of those coaches, he was a much better coach because even though he loved the sport and he did play in university, he was very knowledgeable about many different things. He was also more encouraging and more positive, and just he had a better relationship with us. I guess you could say he was more like a player's coach, what you call a player's coach. If any of you know what that is, it's just it's almost like one of the guys, somebody who's very close to the players and you can hang out with and that sort of thing. I mean, he's not just your buddy. It's not just like a buddy, but you have respect for him. He's your coach, but he understood you. You know, it would. Can you imagine a big fat guy coming in who's never played any sports in his life, but he comes in and he's your coach, and he can't even stand on the side of the court while you're playing. You know, he has to sit over on the side and catch his breath all the time. It's difficult to have any respect for a guy like that who's never played the game. But if you have a coach who not only has played the game, but he can still get out there and play with you. And in high school, this coach, he was really tall, taller than me, and I mean, he could kick our ass. So he was a really good coach, but he was also fun to be around. Unfortunately, we only had him for like 1 year. And we had another coach for a couple of years after that, and that guy was a complete ass. And he came down on me for some stupid stuff that wasn't even my fault. You know, I was the team captain for the basketball team, and the whole team was sucking, and they weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing. But somehow he was pointing the finger at me. And the thing is, I came from a poor family, and some of the guys on that team, they had much more money, and they didn't like me simply because of my family. Even though I was taller and faster and a much better shot than they were, I was a better player. I was constantly getting awards and MVPs of games and playoffs and stuff. I was even offered a university degree or scholarship rather to go play basketball. So I could have played university basketball. I was that good. And yet the players on the team just didn't want to play with me. They didn't like passing the ball to me. They didn't like running the plays that the coach laid out for us to do, because I was the one handling the ball and trying to run the plays. So whenever I'd come down and try to run the plays, they would just do whatever they wanted, and then the coach would get on to me. So I thought that the coach was bad and stupid, and unfortunately I had to deal with him for a couple of years. It really sucked. And that coach wound up giving some awards to another guy my senior year because his parents were taking him out to dinner and spending money on him. So in my senior year, he, instead of giving a couple of the awards to me, he gave them to this other guy. And that really bothered me, really hurt me at the time, especially because it was my friend. It was one of my best friends. But unfortunately, that classmate and friend, he actually died earlier this year because of liver cancer. And that's another thing I feel grateful for. I was diagnosed with kidney cancer a year and a half ago, and this guy, this friend of mine that I had in high school, he was just suddenly diagnosed with liver cancer last December, almost 1 year ago, and within just 3 months he was dead. So he's already gone. It's sad. Let's see here. The purpose of the club is not to pursue excellence in the sport. The purpose is to produce excellence in the pristine, ubiquitous, hierarchical constructs. Yes! It's kind of funny because in Japan, it really is kind of like, if you're the type of guy who never rocks the boat, okay, like never. If people work with you for 25 years and you've never once said or done anything to rock the boat, then that's like perfect. Now, what that means is you've never presented any new ideas. You've never come up with a better way to do something. You've never done any of that. You've just followed the same old. And even if it doesn't work, even if it causes the company to do poorly or to be flat, it doesn't matter. You haven't rocked the boat, and that is really, really important in Japan. Don't rock the boat. And even when everybody in the room knows that your idea is good and better and will definitely work and be better than what they've been doing, they still won't do it. And the reason is because not only did you disturb the order of things by bringing it up, but that also means that they'll have to take action, and in order to adapt and change to do that idea, they'll have to implement it, and that's rocking the boat. So that's why it's difficult for a lot of things to change in Japan. Hey, James, thank you. Austin, Texas. That's not very far, James. I'm actually from Shreveport, Louisiana, and I've been over close to Austin a few times. And I lived actually also in Houston when I was little for about 7 years, almost 7 years. So I'm a big Houston fan. Let's see here. The Japanese I know are internationally influenced, and even for me it's noticeable. My best coach was the woodwork, metalwork teacher. He was great and loved getting away from the teaching reality. That was 445 years ago. Wow, Glenn, you look great for a guy who's over 445 years. 445 years old. I guess you're trying to say 45 years ago? Oh, some kind of delivery van going by. Okay, let's see here. You engaging with that in the U.S. it's freedom, and in Japan it's excessive normality. And this is the mark. The Japan focus on their position in the hierarchy, not on being all the same. Yeah, that makes sense because, obviously if you are younger, or if you're the low man on the totem pole in a company or a group or whatever, then you should act accordingly. And if you're able to, if somehow you get moved up, and I feel like even in Japan, it's not about you working hard to get moved up. It's about you being moved up by the higher ups. So the higher ups move you up because you've put in your time, and then they move you up. But in the U.S., the idea is like, you work hard and you do a good job, and because of merit, you deserve to be promoted, moved up, or whatever. And in Japan, that's not the focus. It's paying your dues, and then if you're lucky, somebody will move you up into a higher spot in the hierarchy. But the idea in Japan, I think, of going into an office and telling your boss, hey, listen, I've been working really hard here for 5 years and I haven't gotten any offers for, a raise or a higher position or management or anything. And I do really good work, and I've given some really good ideas and made some really good suggestions. I should be moving up. It doesn't at all sound like a Japanese thing to me. It would be very rare, I guess. I gotta walk the dog. It's cold here in Tokaichi. Yeah. You start to get up in these small mountains, or in the bigger mountains in Japan, man, it gets really cold really fast, and it drops way down. It's only an hour drive from Hiroshima City here, and Hiroshima is like zero elevation. It's sea level, but out here it's like 420, I think, at my house. Between 420 and 440 meters above sea level. My best friend died a few years ago from liver cancer. He was diagnosed at level 4 and died 6 months later. Fittest guy you could meet. Devastated all of us. Yeah, Glenn, it's interesting because the friend that I mentioned that had the liver cancer pop up in December, or it was detected in December, and then he died just a few months later, he became a workout nut, and he was constantly at the gym. I remember when I saw him years after we graduated high school, and I was shocked because he kind of looked like a miniature Incredible Hulk. He's not a tall guy, or he wasn't a tall guy, and that was actually one of the things he told me when we played basketball. He said the only reason that you do better in basketball is because you're taller. And I was like, what? So I run faster, I shoot better, and I handle the ball better. I can shoot with both hands. I was ambidextrous when I would shoot. I could do all those things, and he couldn't do all of those things. And yet it was because I was tall. I'm pretty sure that being tall has nothing to do with being able to use both hands or be a good shot or be faster. Because there were guys on that team who ran sprint in track, and they still couldn't beat me doing sprints or suicides on the basketball court. And yeah, seeing the way he was all buff and stuff, and he was active in the gym and all of that, and now he's gone. It's amazing how you can be working out and exercising and then suddenly just go downhill and be gone a few months later. James says, oh, so you're a Houston Astros fan? Yeah. You'll often right now I've got this hat on because it's warmer. It's cold outside, so I don't have my Astros hat on. But if you see me wearing a hat in my videos, a lot of the times it's an Astros hat because I am an Astros fan. Glenn says Astros. We've never heard of the Astros on this channel. Yeah, every once in a while you might hear me mention the Astros, but yeah, I watched all of the playoff games. Several of them I watched while I was in the hospital, because I was in the hospital for almost 2 months. So while I was there, I was watching the local playoff games with the Hiroshima Carp, and I was watching the Astros playoff games, and unfortunately they did really amazingly, considering how they had so many injuries earlier in the year and they were really struggling, but they came within one game of going back to the World Series, but it just wasn't meant to be this year. Let's see here. 22 degrees here in Okinawa, still in shorts and t-shirt. You can continue to enjoy that, because to me, Okinawa, that type of climate, it's nice for visiting, but I definitely wouldn't want to stay there, because I can't stand a place that's just warm or hot all the time. Even in Louisiana, where I'm from, hot and humid like 6 months of the year. Just can't stand it. Can't stand it. I hated it. James says, oh, sorry, didn't mean to open that can of worms. About the Astros? That's not really a can of worms. The Astros performed much better this year than they were expected to, especially considering the injuries and what happened with their pitching staff and all of that. So I'm happy with them doing as well as they did. The series between the Rangers and the Astros, to me, was the World Series, because they were clearly the two best and strongest teams. There was no NFC team that was as strong as the Rangers and the Astros. The AFC was just or rather the AFC. I'm using wrong terms, wrong sports. The American League was much stronger than the National League. That's just the way it was this year. So to me, the ALCS, the American League Championship Series, that was like the World Series, because whatever team won that was going to just totally destroy the World Series, and that's what happened. The Rangers just crushed the Diamondbacks, and they had no chance against them. Let's see here. Glenn is you're not liking the warm weather being rubbed in. It doesn't matter to me. I mean, it's not freezing cold right now, so it's good enough for me, especially if I'm moving around. But like I said, I don't want it to be warm or hot all the time. I like it for a little while, and then I would like a weather change. Okay. That's enough of a rest. You guys can, if you want to hang around, you're welcome to do that. I am going to keep the live stream going. As you can see, I've got some more stuff to move out of here. Some of these things are trash that I need to toss out and burn. I do have some sheets. I'll just keep these in here because I'm going to need to keep these sheets in the van. And but like the newspaper that they put in here to keep the tires from getting my van dirty, I'll take this out and burn it. And this other trash, like this paper trash, I'll take it out and burn it. I might put one of these anime cups. These are plastic anime cups from Dragon Ball. I might put one of these in the prize package. Which reminds me, I've only received like 4 entries into my giveaway. Seriously. So a couple of days ago, I made a video with a giveaway. I've got a box about this big of stuff from here in Toyosaka, some from my house, and some things from, Japan, all in one box. I'm giving it away, and you can enter that contest to win the box, and whoever wins, I'm going to ship it directly to you. But as of right now, less than 5 people have entered. This is not going to be open for a long time. It closes 11:59, November 30th, in the evening. So as soon as it hits midnight, this contest is closed. I will take the entries, and I will choose one randomly, and then that person will win. I will send them this box of goodies. If you haven't entered that already, I highly recommend that you go do that. I'm not going to give you the rules here because I've already done that. If you go back and you look a couple of days ago, I have a live video, okay? If you click on videos, you're not going to see it. You have to click on live, and then you look at my live videos, and then you can see in the description of the video the rules for the giveaway. Just follow those rules, and you'll be entered in this giveaway of items that I'm going to be sending from here in Toyosaka. Glenn says it's 23C here on the Gold Coast. Queensland, Australia. I'm used to warm weather. 23 is not bad. I like 23 regular standard warm weather. It's nice. And around here, it during the winter, the coldest it gets is maybe minus 15. The coldest day I remember actually checking myself with my own thermostat was minus 14, and that was here inside the house. It was the same temperature inside as it was outside, so minus 14 degrees. But I'm pretty sure that it gets colder than that outside at some point during the winter. And last year, the first snowstorm happened about 10 days before Christmas, the week before Christmas. I have had a little bit of snow here recently, and maybe about a week ago or so. I posted a little video about it. It just suddenly started coming down. But I hope that I can kind of insulate and seal up my room in there, plus my van, just in the next few days, so that I'm ready to go and I can sleep warm wherever I am. But let's put this here. And these are the lug nuts. I'm going to take those out. This is the tape that I use for shipping boxes. I'm also going to leave this in here. So a few things I'm going to need in here in the next couple of days. So I'm just going to leave in here. But things like this, I've got these bottles. I'm going to take these out. All of this newspaper, just going to burn it. This is the bag that I used for, I didn't use it for, this is the bag that I got when I bought my mattress. If you guys know the store Nitori is like a home store, a home furnishing store with bedding and blankets and decorations, plus some furniture and stuff like that you can buy, and a lot of it is good, has good prices. It's not expensive. So if you get an apartment or something that's not furnished in Japan and you need to know where to go to get stuff, I highly recommend you go there. They don't really have appliances so much. It's about furniture related stuff and bedding and cloth, curtains, stuff like that. This is the utility knife that I'm going to use to cut up that fabric to black out the windows. Okay. this is my batteries, my rechargeable batteries that I got recently because I knew I'd be doing more live videos, live streaming stuff. So I got these portable batteries so I can keep things rolling without running out of juice. 2-pack at Costco was a good deal. Okay. Some plastic there. Okay, let me turn this around. Oh. Gonna go around this way. Oh, hey, Peppy. Virtual hug back to you. Thank you. Thanks for stopping in. There are 2 futons that I have right here. Anything that's trash, especially the burnable stuff, I'm just going to put in this bag. If it will all fit. But for now, I can toss the futon stuff in the back. Oh, it's too heavy to grab with one hand. Ugh. There we go. Let me see if you can see that. Yeah. As you can see, I've already taken out one chair that connects to this. It's out. I left in this 3rd chair because sometimes I would have a couple of people that I needed to pick up, a couple of friends or whatever, and I still have one seat in the front and one seat on the side. But if you look over here, yeah, this is a good angle here. If you notice the amount of room from the side here over to that seat, it is wide enough for me to lay down this way, but the problem is my mattress is wider than that. So I need to take this chair out so that I can lay my mattress flat. And because my minivan is long, I don't have to take out the passenger seat. It's more than 200 centimeters from the seat to the back of the van, and my mattress is 200 centimeters, so it's plenty long enough for me. I've got some material in here that's like packing and stuff that was from other boxes that I've received. Man, I think I kind of want to put on gloves. My hands are starting to get a little chilly. Oh, by the way, there's my hat. James, if you're still watching, there's one of my hats. This is an Astros hat I have in the van. I took it off the other day and popped on my winter hat because this is not as good at keeping my head warm as my winter hat. I'll put a glove on my left hand, at least. There, that'll help stay a little warm. This has some clothes in it. And some more clothes. I'll take those inside. Ugh. This is another thing that I like to do. I don't know why, but I just love giving gifts, especially during Christmas time. But I get this really big box of Swiss Miss marshmallow hot chocolate. There are 60 packs in here. And some of them I give to my girlfriend and to her daughter. And some of these I will give to some friends or whatever. but I also like to take them to some of the local places, like the hardware store where I buy materials, or to the cafe or the bakery, to different people here in Toyosaka. And sometimes I just carry them with me. I just have them in the van. So if somebody is helping me do something, it doesn't matter. Sometimes even if I go to a hotel, if I stay at a hotel, or when I go to the hospital for an appointment, I'll take these and I'll just give them as gifts. But it's a simple little thing, but I just really like doing that. It makes me feel good. And people really seem to light up when I give them stuff like that here in Japan, you know. So there's my other portable toothbrush. Sometimes if I go to the onsen, I take this with me, because they have a toothbrush there with toothpaste that you can use, but you have to pay a couple hundred yen for it. And why pay so much when you can just get this one time for like 200 yen and use it many times? Okay. Oh, this is an apartment property I got quoted on. That's gonna be trash. Okay. Oh. Trash. It's another Dragon Ball cup. Dragon Ball keychain. Dragon Ball towel. Okay. You guys don't want to know what these are. These are from the hospital. These are actually do-it-yourself at-home catheters. If you know what a catheter is, then you know what these are for. Unfortunately, because I had some really large blood clots, I was not able to go to the bathroom. So I had to use these at home for a few days. Seriously, otherwise I couldn't pee. Isn't that ridiculous? Okay. I'm going to put these in with the clothes, because these are items I need to sort through. There's my hiragana katakana study cards. I need to take those inside. Okay. Oh, cranberry juice. Trash. Alright. These are the things that I need to take inside and sort. I'm going to put in that bag there. I'm going to just leave the hot chocolate in here for now, because I'm going to be giving out some more later. But I can put it between the seats. Some more clothes over here. I can put that in there. And this is more trash. Okay, I'm going to go around the other side. Set that right there. I'm surprised that I haven't had the internet disconnected yet, because I'm using this phone for the video, but it's connected to my other phone, which is my internet connection. I'm connected to it with this via Wi-Fi, like Wi-Fi hotspot. But like I said, for some reason my old phone doesn't like to stay connected to the Rakuten SIM card, so it's constantly disconnecting, and I'm dropping it completely disconnects from the network. So occasionally that happens. I have to keep checking it to make sure that we're still live. But there's no way for me to know it unless I check it. So if that happens and there's a pause in the video, I apologize for that, and I'll get it corrected as soon as I can. That's my some of my hospital paperwork. I'm going to put that in here. Actually, this can go in my folder right there. More trash. More catheters. So ridiculous. I have to keep some catheters in my van and keep some of them in my house just in case. Just in case there's some kind of emergency. More cranberry juice. More socks. More trash. Little hammer. Toss that back there. My N5 Japanese study book. Wrong. Masks. Too small. These are for children. More trash. More trash. And trash. Some of these are mail items that I got when I got out of the hospital, and I went through and I forgot to take them out. If you're wondering why everything is so messy and disorganized, it's because from the time I got out of the hospital until now, you know, I haven't had the ability or desire or the energy to get out here and do any of this. But I figured if I do a live video, it kind of forces me to do it, right? So maybe it's not so interesting to you guys, and I apologize for that. But I knew that if I made it a live video, then I'd be forced to do it. So here we are. If you don't know what this is pomegranate vinegar. You don't drink it straight. It's for drinking, but you don't drink it straight. You dilute it with water and drink it, and it's very, very good stuff. I tried it, just tried a little bit without diluting it, and it's ridiculously strong. Let's close the top here. If I can. There we go. Okay. I just want to get this stuff kind of moved over there so that I can have this chair empty. This chair is going to come out. This is a bag of important papers that I keep in the van. I'm going to put that between the seats also. Bag over there. All right. Yeah. Oh, man. Okay. You see I've got my hood on now. It's because I was feeling a little cold around my ears, my head. So, trying to warm up a little. Take a quick break. Any messages? Let's see here. Peppy and Glenn saying hello. Yeah. Virtual hug. Here, come here. I'll give you a hug. Come here. Come here. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Good hug. Everybody gets a hug. So, basically everything is now set up to either come out or stay in. These futons can just stay in. They're already clean, and I don't see any reason to really take them out. Whenever I put in a piece of plywood and some insulation, I can just kind of roll them up and put them in the front seat. And basically, here in the back, if you can see here, these right here, these are, I guess you could say, just the brackets that hold the rear bench seat. This thing was incredibly difficult to take out, because the front seat, like this, not the front seat, but the middle seats, these seats right here, they have these latches underneath, and you pull that latch and it can disconnect, and then you can just pick the whole seat up and pull it out. This seat and the one next to it, which is not there right now, they're easy to take out. You just pull that latch, lift them up and pull them out, and you can take them inside. No big deal. But the rear bench seat right here, absolutely a horrendous thing to take out, because here and here it has screws, two bolts here and then 2 bolts on the other side. So getting those unscrewed and out, it took me way too long. It was stupid. This was a stupid design, because it was very, very difficult to get a wrench in there onto that bolt, or even a socket. It was very difficult to get something onto that bolt in the first place to loosen it. But the other thing was that you couldn't really get a good connection, like a really strong connection. So it was difficult to loosen it without stripping that bolt head. I thought it was the stupidest design I've ever seen. So this rear bench seat took me a long time to get out, and maybe I will never ever install this bench seat again. If I need extra seats, I'll just put in my 2 middle seats. But right now, the easiest, or I'm sorry, the maximum amount of people that I can easily carry is 4. Because I can easily put in the middle 2 bucket seats, and then of course I've got my front 2 seats, so 4 people. If there's some really important reason to install this back bench seat, I will. But right now, I just, that nightmare of taking it out, I never want to have to go through that again. And probably putting it in is just as difficult as taking it out. So anyway, this is the floor. You can see that the floor is about this much lower than his brackets. And so what I need to do is I need to have a flat piece of plywood that comes up above this, and it goes through the whole floor of the van all the way to the front, behind the front 2 seats, because I can't have my mattress lying down on top of these brackets. So I've got 4, basically. I've got 2 of these metal brackets back here in the back, and then 4 brackets in the front for these 2 middle bucket seats. And those are about this high off of the floor, and these are about this high off the floor. So basically I have to build kind of a platform. What I'm thinking about doing is putting down some 2x4 wood runners, and then attaching the plywood to the top of that, and underneath that, or on top of it, I guess, probably underneath that, I'll put down some of the reflective aluminum insulation to help keep this insulated and warm. I see it online where some people, when they set up their van to live out of, they get in here and they take out all this plastic, and like on the sides and on the top, and they take out the carpet and all of that stuff on the bottom. They take out all that stuff. I'm not going to do that. First of all, I don't feel like going through all of that. And second of all, I'm not turning this into a permanent conversion van to live out of. I'm going to just be using it for an undetermined amount of time. And I'd like to be able to easily go back to having these two seats in. So, for example, I have, oh, hey, Philippe and Ravisha. Hey, how's it going? Good to see you guys. Thanks for joining. Just for example, my friend Bainley, yes, this is Brandon. If you're talking to me, this is Brandon, yes. I have a good friend in China whose name's Bainley, and he got married recently. He and his wife are planning to come visit me in February, and they're going to be here for about 4 or 5 days. During that time, we're probably going to be driving around a little bit. I'm going to pick them up at the train station probably and take them out here to see my house, take them to the hotel. We're going to go to a few places in Hiroshima City. She wants to do a little shopping, but they also want to see some sights and do some things. So while they're here in February, I plan to have them with me. That means I'm going to have to put this seat back inside, and that way I'll have 3 seats, right? But there are some times when people come to visit, like for example, when Koji and Roxy came and Evelyn was here at the same time, that's 4 people. So I needed the extra seat in the back. At that time, I had the bench seat in because it was so difficult to get out. But now, if that situation occurs again, I'll just have the 2 bucket seats put back in and then the front 2 seats, which I prefer anyway. Not only is it easier to put them in and take them out, but it also puts them closer to the front, and it's easier to talk with them and stuff. When they were sitting on the bench seat, there was just too much space between me in the front and them in the back. I didn't really like that too much. But anyway, let's try to grab this stuff out of here, and then I can get this seat out. And after that, maybe I'll see if I can cut up some of this material, because I have to figure out how I'm going to get that material stuck in this window to black it out, right? I don't know yet how I'm going to attach it, but maybe we can figure that out. By the way, that's something you guys can help me out with. Now that I have several people in the chat, maybe one of you have a really good idea about how I can attach this. Let me show you what I've got first. Okay. Basically, this is like a rubber foam. I'm sure you've seen some material like this before. You see that? It's about maybe not quite a ½ inch thick. Maybe it's 3/8 of an inch thick, but it's kind of soft, rubbery. It's easy to flex and move around. But I feel like it's good for sound dampening, but it's completely translucent. In other words, or it's opaque. You cannot see through it. It completely blocks out all the light. So what I want to do is use this knife. I have a new utility knife. I want to cut this out and put it in these windows to black out the windows, so that on the outside it's just completely black, and on the inside you can't see any light. And if I do turn on light on the inside, you can't see it on the outside. I want to completely black it out. But the question is how to attach it to the windows. Once I put it in place, how can I get it to stay there? Okay? If you have an idea about that, then let me know. I don't know if I make this just a little bit bigger than the window, I don't know if I can wedge it in there. But if you have some ideas, then put them in the comment section. After I finish cleaning this stuff up here, I'll take another break and I'll take a look and see what your ideas are. So that's your task. If you're just listening while you're doing something else, if you're driving or something, then I guess you're off the hook. But for those of you who are actually on the computer or on the phone and you're able to type, you must give me some ideas about how I can attach this to the windows. Ravisha says, is it illegal to tint the windows? No, actually, the windows right now in my van on the sides and on the back, they are stock tinted. You can see that. You can see there, right? You can tell that they're tinted. See the sky there, and then there's the back window. It's not a really dark tint, but it is kind of dark. If you look on the side, this is kind of dark. But my side windows and my rear window are already tinted, and they don't have to be transparent. You don't have to be able to see through them. I mean, if you had to be able to see through them, that wouldn't really make a lot of sense, though, because there are some work vans and cargo vans that don't have any windows. No windows on the side, no windows in the back. So if you can have that, then obviously I can black out my windows. But I really, on this back window, I've got the door open right now, so on this back window, I want this, when I black this out, I want this to be very easy to remove and put on, because whenever I'm driving, I want to be able to see my rear view mirror. And also, I have a mirror right here. See that mirror? This is outside, and it points down at the ground, because I don't have a backup camera. So whenever I'm backing up, I can look in my rear view mirror into this mirror to see what's behind my van and how close I am to stuff. So I need to be able to take this off, this material off, and put it on quickly and easily, I think. But anyway, think about that. If you have some ideas about how I can attach this stuff to my windows here, then tell me. And while I will come around here. Look at all the colors. It's pretty, isn't it? Oh, by the way, the leaves on my tree over here, look how much the tree has lost. The leaves have almost completely fallen off. It looks really bare today. Very soon it will be completely empty and look dead. But here, I need to get this stuff out. Here's the not apple, I almost said apple cider vinegar. This is the pomegranate vinegar. Cranberry juice. More cranberry juice. I hate to say this out loud, but I'm going to have to leave one box of catheters in the van. I feel like an old man saying that. This I can use as a trash bag, so I'm going to put this in the front of the van. This has plastic bottles and a glass bottle in it, so I need to take this out. This is actually my gimbal box, but I don't necessarily need it. Trash. However, if for some reason I need to return it soon, I should keep it, because it'll have to go back to Amazon, so I'll keep it for now. The rest of my catheters are right here. These are the things that I need to take in the house. Runaway sock. Ooh, chilly wind. An extra bag for trash, maybe. Can probably leave that in the van. I can always use an extra bag to get rid of the trash. Okay. Ouch. That glass bottle hit me in the knee. Okay, this is all trash. guess I should close this just in case somebody drives by. Hopefully they won't run over my cranberry juice. It looks beautiful there. Thank you. Thank you, Peppy. It is. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of work to do around here and a lot of cleaning inside and out. But yeah, especially during the fall and whenever the spring comes in and everything starts to turn green and bloom. This is the two most beautiful times of the year, but it does really get beautiful during the fall. It's my favorite time, I think, because there's more diversity in all the colors. Spring, everything gets green for a while, which is cool, and then you start to see flowers and all that, and that's pretty. But I prefer the variety of amazing colors and temperature in the fall. Let's see here. Hey, other Brandon, how's it going? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. All right. I'm just going to take you guys with me. I've got the tripod in one hand and all the junk in my other hand. Backyard. Look how beautiful that is. I mean, it's a little messy. I mean, I've cleaned up a little bit and I've burnt some junk and I've done a little bit of grass cutting, but look at the forest back there. Behind my wall, you got another small field, some forest and small mountain back there. But there's a small burn pile right here. In a few minutes after I get this stuff out of the van, and if I do that, I don't need to leave these hot coals. I don't need to leave something burning here while I'm away. Even though I don't see how it could possibly catch anything on fire, you never know. Having an unattended fire, especially next to a wooden house, probably not a very good thing to do. This is my Ginkan. Just gonna go in here right quick. These are my catheters because I'm an old man. I can't pee right. And this is some stuff that I need to sort through, right? My clothes and some other stuff. Just take that inside. If you're wondering why I have a cement block here, it's because sometimes I wanna leave the door open. Sometimes I want to leave the Ginkan door open, but I don't want just critters being able to go in and out. So I take this door here, which is a slotted door, and I put it here, and I lean the cement block against it to keep it from. Okay, I just realized I still have some yogurt. I haven't had any today. Kampai, cheers. Okay. Close that. Hey guys, since it's still light out, let's walk around the other side of the house on our way back to the van, just for fun. This is the area that I cut when I got out of the hospital. I just really quickly, it died, and I think it's because of the weather. Maybe it was that snow that we had recently. Yeah. Basically, I cut the grass down to about right here. You can see the difference, right? And all the stuff you see in the plastic bags, this is all stuff that I have to throw away in like a recycling fashion. These are still boxes and boxes of newspapers that I have to burn. And I kid you not, whenever I burn a fire, I'm constantly tossing these magazines and newspapers on the fire. And I still have like 6 large boxes here. It's tons of newspapers and magazines to burn. It's just forever. And these purple bags, you put plastics and some glass and some other things like that, recyclables, and there's a particular way to throw them away. Many of these are glass bottles. This is broken glass. These can't be put into these plastic bags. Only glass bottles can be put. Whole glass bottles can be put in here, but all of this broken glass here, and that's broken glass, and these are some bottles that I haven't been able to get the lids off of. They're very rusted and I couldn't get them off. But also there's a bucket here, broken glass. Another box of broken glass. And this is all broken glass. So just buckets and buckets and buckets of broken glass that came from just right here. This was all covered in dirt and broken glass. You can see I've got the nice collection of broken tiles mixed into the leaves. But there was some kind of mini disaster here where the stairs a long time ago, these stairs that you see right there, it went up. Pura, it has just been collapsing over time. And so there used to be, from here to here, there used to be some walls. If you see the bamboo there, the lattice work on the bamboo, there also used to be walls here and over there, like frames, and glass. More similar to the house here, because the house has these sliding glass doors on the outside. Originally, this house didn't have those. They were added much later. But the original build of the house, this was open. The Ingawa was just open. And like you see in the movies of those old houses, when you see people walking in kimono in their slippers, walking around the Ingawa on the wood here, and then just opening the sliding shoji door and going into the rooms. That's how this was set up originally. But then later on, they added these out here. All of this just collapsed and was destroyed. So yeah, here we go. Let's go back to the front. This is the view from the left front corner of the house, or if you're looking at the house from the road, it'd be the right front corner, but you can barely see the van right over there. That's where we were just a few moments ago. And this house over here is also an Akiya. It's an empty house, and it belonged to the same family that owned this house. So the family that I bought this house from, I was told by one of the members of the family directly that they abandoned this property and the land. So my guess is that it's either this phone, which is acting as my Wi-Fi hotspot, it dropped the signal. And after it dropped the signal, of course, I had to turn it on airplane mode, turn it back on, and reconnect the Wi-Fi hotspot. But this other phone is not automatically reconnecting to the Wi-Fi, so I had to manually do that. So ridiculous. To me, that's stupid. It just shows that it's not. These phones aren't as smart as they should be. Let's see here. Ravisha owes you an explanation. George owes you an explanation. Okay, I'm lurking, have to get lunch. Brandon says, do you have a visual picture of the future design plans for this house and its yards? The area is really wide, though. Yeah, the current property that I actually own right now is not really deep. where the wall is in the back is legally where my property ends, but nobody cares about me cleaning and using the land around it. Actually, they're happy for me to do that. They're happy for me to like go out there and cut the grass and cultivate it and use it for whatever. I could even go back there and plant stuff and grow things if I wanted to. They wouldn't care. They'd be happy to see it being used and to look nice, but especially to look nice. But as far as the visual picture for the way I'd like everything to look, outside of the house, around the house, I definitely want my guest house kura in this kura right here, the one next to the van, this kura. I want these to be in good condition and usable, and I would like to really have the first floor of this kura as like a workshop where I can put tools in there and power tools and things like that and build a floor. So it's maybe even pour a concrete slab as a floor and make it into an actual functioning wood shop. And but I would like to build a better staircase. It does have a staircase right now that goes up to the top, but I want to fix up that top floor. And the floor is still functioning, but you have to make sure that you step on the rafters, the support beams. I guess if you're a very light, small person, it's not a big deal. But for somebody like me, stepping in between the rafters on those wooden boards, even though they're hardwood boards, they're a little too flexible, and you never know which boards are going to be damaged from like termites or whatever. And so I just worry about stepping through one of those and falling through to the first floor. And I just want to repair all of that. I think it would be nice and pretty cool to fix that upper floor and insulate it and turn it into kind of like an office area, or even another living space, like a self-contained living space where there's like a kind of a lounge area, a kitchenette, and even a bathroom up there, just all self-contained, like an efficiency apartment. But it's pretty big up there, so even if you turn it into like an efficiency apartment, it's going to be like twice the size of a normal Japan efficiency apartment, really. Like the apartment I had in Kaita in Hiroshima, the second floor of my kura is like twice that size. So it would be cool to turn it into a completely self-contained living space. And the guest house kura is a 2-floor building, and once again I would like to turn those into kind of like living spaces. But my visual ideal for the future design is for all of these buildings to have living spaces that can be rented so that people can stay here. And it would be very nice if it's busy and people are constantly staying out here and it's very active and people are renting and stuff. I would like to keep one for myself, so that it's always available for me. And if I'm in Hiroshima, it's just easy for me to just stop by whenever I want and just, grab my keys, unlock it, and go right in and relax. And it's my own personal space that nobody has. But the house itself, plus maybe the guest house kura, I would like to be able to have those kind of like Airbnb available for rent all the time. As for out here in the yard, the shed in the back and the bathhouse, especially the bathhouse, it's going to have to come down. It has to be torn down and completely destroyed and taken away. The shed is leaning very badly, and as much as I would like to try to save it, I don't know if that's possible right now. It's recently leaned some more in the upper storage area inside. It collapsed a few months back. Actually, Evelyn was here visiting at the time when it happened, and it was really loud. She was inside the house doing something on her computer, and I was outside taking a shower, and that collapse was so loud that I thought something was falling down like on top of me and around the house. But that's a good I don't know, 20 30 meters away, maybe about 25 meters away from where I was standing. So that's how loud it was. It was very crazy. That's another thing you have to be really careful with. If you're going to get an old property that has some old buildings with it, you really need to make sure of the structural integrity of some of the places that you go into before you go in. And like the floor, the first day I visited here, I stepped through the floor. And that was after testing it. You know, it seemed like it was okay and it looked okay. But because the roof had been leaking so much, the planks had gotten wet. They had endured a lot of termite damage and water damage. And even though it seemed like they were solid, they were not. And as soon as I put enough weight on it, it fell through. My foot went through and I fell down onto my back. And some of the stuff that was in there almost fell on top of me. The real estate agent who was with me, he had to pull me out. I was like a turtle on my back, but because I fell down on the floor, it was like this. And since I was in the middle and I didn't have anything to grab onto, there was no way for me to get myself out easily. So he had to just grab me and pull me up and get me out. You have to be really careful in some areas of these houses because, I mean, my Kominka itself overall, I would say, is structurally sound. There's nothing in there that's an immediate threat. But there are a few things that definitely need to be fixed and shored up or strengthened, fortified before the house can be like have a check mark of safety. And that's the thing. My house really needs three main things in order for it to be passable for renting as a place to stay. And one is, some of the foundation issues and the support issues underneath, they need to be fortified and made solid. And that's the first most important thing. The second thing is more about the comfort issue in insulating the house and sealing it and that sort of thing. That's the second thing. And then the third thing, which is really, really important, is related to having a functioning bathroom, kitchen, and sewage system. Obviously, having the water, hot and cold water in the house, having a functioning kitchen, functioning bathroom with an actual toilet and bathtub and sewage system. These things are necessary. You have to have those things. Otherwise, how are people going to stay here? Of course, I do live here, and I've had guests out here a few times. A few different people have stayed the night. But right now, literally right inside this door here, right inside this door, you can't really see it, but down in there is an old septic tank. It's just a big box in the ground made of stone. It's a big stone box in the ground with a concrete top. And that's a small septic tank. And if you walk up here and you go in this door right here, you can barely see it because this door leaning up, I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about the doorway right there that it's kind of blocking. But if you go inside that door, you'll go into this area here. There's a wall there. You can't see it, but there are two squat toilets. And those squat toilets are directly above the septic tank. That's your only option here at my house for using a toilet for number two. You know what I'm saying? If you need to take a crap, this is your primary option for doing that. Your only other option would be to grab a roll of toilet paper and go out into the field or behind a tree or into a bucket or something like that. But of course, this is not an ideal option, especially when it's freezing cold outside, but it is the best option that I have here at the house right now. Inside the house, I do have a toilet that's basically in brand new condition. And I have a really nice bathtub in there that has never been used. It's only been used as a display model. I picked it up, if you remember the video I made where I drove over to Kyoto, I picked it up while I was there for just like $100. It was an amazing deal, but that type of bathtub is over $1,000 here. So that I was able to get it for $100 is amazing. So it was worth driving over there to get it just for that, because I still got it at a great discount. All of the fuel money that I spent and the money for the bathtub was still less than buying a brand new bathtub. So I've already got the toilet and the bathtub in there. And whenever Jake was here, he helped me do a lot of the work in the bathroom on the floor. So we tore out that floor completely. We put in brand new supports. We put in insulation in the subfloor. We did all of that. But I need to have a septic tank. I need to dig a septic tank. I need to put the concrete in for it and run all of the pipes and get all of that set up. It just takes time to get all that stuff done, and it would have been done by now, but because it requires so much extra money, I'm unable to do that at this time. I do have school that is technically already started, but because I had to go in the hospital for almost 2 months, I had to. Luckily, I didn't have to withdraw. If you withdraw, it means you would lose your visa. But I was able to go on medical leave, and you get up to 90 days, up to 3 months, basically, of medical leave from school if you have a health issue. So luckily, I was able to do that, and I'm still on medical leave right now. I'm hoping that I would be back in class in December, in the next few weeks. And that's one of the reasons why I'm out here doing this, getting the van ready, because for those of you who don't know, but I've already said it a couple of times, here in my house, if I drive to my Japanese language school 5 days a week, you're talking about at least 1 hour to 1.5 hours, depending on, traffic and weather, one way from here to the school. I don't want to do that 5 days a week. I could get a cheap apartment, but the initial setup is at least 100,000 yen, maybe 120,000 yen. And that's a lot of money for me to put out right now on an apartment. So the cheaper option is to just set my van up to where I can sleep inside. And then when I go to the school on Monday, I can park my van somewhere quiet and sleep there and stay there Monday through Friday, and then come back here on the weekends. So that's my plan. Brandon said, you have a measurable target for when this project will be completed. Well, when you say this project, do you mean everything that I mentioned, like everything? Because there's so many different stages, and I feel like the main focus for the house is the Kominka, getting the Kominka, number one, getting the support fixed and fortified, replacing the missing pieces of metal on the roof, and then getting the septic system and the toilet, the bathroom and all of that put in, have a functioning kitchen, and insulating and sealing the house. Those things are the priority. Oh, Ravisha, okay, bye. Ravisha, thank you for coming, and I'm sure I will see you later on. If you're in Lemmy's live stream, I think I'll probably visit her and say hi. If you're there, I'll see you then, but thank you for stopping in. But how long is it going to take me to do these main things? Well, it depends on a couple of things, because like I said, I was supposed to already start school, my Japanese language school, and I think I should be back there and actually attending classes next month in December, and that's going to take up my time Monday through Friday. The only time I can really come out here and do anything is going to be on the weekends, but it also depends a lot on money. I don't have the physical ability or money to just be paying people and out here doing a lot of this work, like digging a hole for the septic tank. There is a machine that I can rent and dig a hole, but because of the weather right now, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to pour concrete and make a septic tank. But once again, even if I could, it takes money to buy those things. And right now, I kind of have to hang on to my money. So the only stuff that I can really do in my house currently are the things that are either super cheap or free to do. So that's what I have to focus on right now is doing free or cheap things. And that's why I'm cleaning my van out to get it ready to sleep in, because it costs nothing to sleep in my van as opposed to an apartment. Glenn says, I got to go as well. Chat again soon. Brandon, I'll send you some window ideas. Thanks a lot, Glenn. For those of you who don't know, Quietly Wandering is Glenn. He has sent me an email with some ideas about how to set up my van to live out of. And so we've been communicating that way. And that's very helpful. If any of you have any suggestions on how I can make my van life while during the week easier, more practical, and efficient, just let me know. And I think I've rested for long enough. Now I'm gonna take out this seat, I believe. So let's move let me turn the camera around first of all. And I'll turn this around this way. Actually, how about right there? Yeah, that'll work. Okay, let's see how easy it is for me to get this chair out of here. I forgot that I still had this pipe in here. You probably remember earlier I said it was easy to take these out. Maybe what I should have said, it was much easier than taking out the bench seat. It's got these some kind of latches you pull on them and to pull the seat out. Not what I would call easy, but for some reason it's just moving around, but it's not it's not coming out. Ugh. Wow, this actually goes all the way down. Huh. You know, I'm thinking maybe if I have both seats in here and I put both seats all the way back, then I can put the plywood on top, right? And then have the bed just on top of that. It's actually not a bad idea, and I wouldn't have to take the seats out. But where would I put the heater? Good question. Okay, now I've got that locked in place. Okay, now it's locked in place. Let me move it up. Ow! Okay, let's move all the way forward. All my neighbors are coming by. All right. Yeah. Okay. Slight change of plan. Okay. So take a look at this. Let's see if I can get it in here so you can see. Yeah, there we go. Okay. All right, what I was gonna do originally is take this seat completely out, and then I could put a piece of plywood down on the floor with some insulation and stuff, and then put the mattress and the bedding on top of that. But what I just realized is that if you move this seat all the way forward against the front seat and then you lay it down, this back part of the seat goes completely flat. The whole seat goes completely flat. So I can actually put in either both seats and lay them completely flat and put the plywood on top of it and then put my mattress on top of that. Or I can just have this one seat still inside and put a piece of plywood here just on this one side, and then put the mattress and everything on top of that, and all of this will be open over here. I think that's actually a pretty good idea. That way I don't even have to take the seat out, and it will be kind of high enough. It's about 1 foot from the floor to the top of the seat. I think it will be it can turn into an actual seat. So when I'm in the van and not lying down, I can be sitting down. Let me hop in here right quick and see what it looks like. Okay. Yeah, so actually, even though I'm quite tall, taller than average, I'm about 188 centimeters, 6'2". I can still stand up in the van while I'm squatting, so standing on the floor is fine. If I just put a piece of plywood here, from here all the way to the back of the van, and put the mattress and the stuff on that, this can act as my bed, but can also be like almost like a sofa, like a seat, right? Because I can sit here. And all of this space over here I can put like maybe I can have a small desk, like a table surface where I can put my laptop. There's actually enough headroom at this height. I think this is pretty nice. I didn't realize I had this much headroom in here, but sitting on this, I still have headroom, so I can sit here. I can put my heater down here on the floor, or I can put it in the back. It doesn't matter. It can function here or there, and then have some kind of table over here, and then I can put like my water pot and whatever. I do have a rack up here. I don't think you can see it from there, but each side of the van has some rails. I can actually hang some clothes over there if I want to. And then it's very easy for me to get in and out of the van through the side door. Although this side door is powered, so I'd much rather go through this door. This one is not powered. It's easy to just grab and open. But you know, I'm glad that I wasn't able to get this out very easily, because once I realized that this goes down flat, that means I can just build a platform back here and just put the bed from here to here. Even though the mattress is longer, it doesn't really matter, because if I want to make it wider, I can build something that's collapsible, something that folds out, and I can have all of this as bed, right? And when I'm not using it, I can just fold it up and use it as sofa. That'll work. I think that's good. It's a good height. One thing of cranberry juice. Okay. Okay, I want to carry my cranberry juice and pomegranate vinegar into the house. I'm not going to be able to do the blackout on the windows right now. I need more light and more warmer, I just need warmer weather. It's getting to be a little dark, and it's getting quite chilly. So I'm going to put these things inside. Okay. By the way, I think it was Brandon that was asking me earlier about the plans for the layout of when I want to get everything finished, and I mentioned this back shed and the bathhouse. So this right here is going to be demolished, and I think that this is just going to have to be demolished too. It's going to have to come down. It's already leaning a lot, and parts of the inside have already collapsed, so I think it's going to have to come down. And then that will actually open this up a little bit more. There will be some more room here, and there's more wall that wraps around and goes around that side. So this area right here can be used for something. And once this bathhouse is down, this will also be opened up a little bit more. This backyard will give some more space. But my plans back here are to have like a little pond. Maybe one day there'll be some fish in there. I don't know, maybe. But I want to have a hot bath out here, and barbecue area for people who come stay. They can come outside and barbecue. Those are the main things I definitely want. But on my wish list would be like to have some place with a swimming pool back here. That would be awesome, but that's on a wish list. I want to buy this land back here behind the wall and use that for some other stuff. I don't have any intention of becoming a farmer or farming that. Like I said, my plan for this property is to be like a kind of a mini holiday resort, a place where people can come and relax and just have fun. I have no intention of living here full time or being a farmer. So, and I'm not interested in running a cafe or any of that stuff. You know, that's not my plan. My plan is to just have a place where people can come and relax, get away from the city for a while, enjoy the quiet. But also I want them to have some modern amenities, you know. I want them to have a big screen, either projector or big screen TV, some games to play, some karaoke. This is my big Kura that I mentioned to you on the second floor. I'd love to have a completely independent, like efficiency style living space. And then down here on the first floor, I'd like to have a shop. But when people come out here, I want to have a really huge kitchen, you know. This side door here goes into the Doma, and it's beside the bathroom. You can't see it right now, it's kind of dark, but this front room here, that's the kitchen, and I really would like to have this. I mean, it's a huge kitchen, and I would really like to have a modern, nice kitchen with some really nice wooden cabinets, and just a large stove and a stone oven, and just really beautiful setup. Because the room right next to it has the irori, the fire pit, the Japanese fire pit. And it'd be really cool to have all that opened up and connected, and just a really beautiful, awesome place to be and to live and to hang out. And holidays would be awesome here, you know, to be able to have lots and lots of people here at the same time. And so people can come out here and rent it and have holiday parties, or just a vacation with their friends, their company, their families. You know, that's the kind of place that I want this. I want it to be busy and active and bustling with life and fun, you know. I really hope I can revitalize it, but I feel like right now this house is very similar to me in several ways, especially in the way of having some important issues that need to be fixed. You know, the house, just like me, has some important things that are just broken. It needs fixed. And it's the same thing with my health. You know, the stupid cancer tumor on my kidney, it's the number one problem I have. It's what's causing all of my other issues. You know, my blood clots in my leg, my anemia, edema. Ugh. I just bumped my head on the door. These shocks that are supposed to hold the door up, they don't hold it up all the way, and I keep forgetting about that. So I've already bumped my head a few times today. Toss that in here. And I'm gonna put this box right back here. I'll mail that off in a couple of days. It does look much better. It's much lighter and much cleaner than it was before. But anyway, I don't want to sound like a downer or anything, but you know, if I don't get my tumor issue under control and get this issue with my kidney taken care of, then, you know, I don't know how long I'm going to be around. I'm kind of at the point where I don't even want to save my kidney anymore. I just kind of feel like, man, I want all that out and gone. But the problem is, even if I wanted to have the surgery to have my kidney out right now, it can't be done. For those of you who don't know that, because I've had people tell me, why don't you just go ahead and have the kidney and the tumor removed and be done with it? Well, I can't. At least the doctor won't do that right now. And the reason is because the tumor is right next to my, it's like right on my artery. So it's too dangerous of a surgery. If there's an accident and that artery gets damaged, I could die within seconds. Okay. Well, I didn't get the windows blacked out, but I did get all the stuff out of the van that needs to come out. So, man, my hand is cold. My right hand is cold. Anyway, like I was saying, my the tumor on my kidney, where it's at, it's like pressed right up against the artery, and that's one of the reasons why, or the main reason why it's causing like the anemia and edema in my body. So the doctor told me he can't do surgery until that tumor is off the artery, and so the tumor is basically going to have to shrink a little bit. And so that's what I'm trying to do is get that, at the very least, get it shrunk enough to where I can have the surgery and have it taken out. But what I would prefer is for the tumor to just go away and then not have to have my kidney out. Where is my, oh, there it is. Got my other glove. Let's see here. You can see it's much darker now than it was earlier, right? Oh, it seems there's some messages on here I haven't seen. Let me check the chat right quick, guys. Oh, he says I have 20% battery remaining, but it's no big deal because I have my power cord. I can plug it in now. Let's see. Okay, Brandon says, currently what kind of waste system do you use if you don't have a septic tank? Well, Brandon, I don't really need to use a waste system, because if I don't have any toilet to flush, and I don't have any sinks or anything here, so I don't really have, they're not connected to any pipes and they're not going anywhere. So if I need to use the toilet, I mean, I can use this old septic tank that is inside this Kura right here to my right. You can barely see it right here, that the van is sitting next to. Like I said, it does have a squat toilet, and directly beneath it, it does have an old septic tank. And since it's just me, and I can't even use it right now. My leg is not in good enough condition for me to use a squat toilet. So when I use the toilet, I have to go to the convenience store. But as far as just gray water, if I want to use my water to wash dishes or something like that, then I can turn on my water, and anything that I drain, I just drain it into the field, because it's just gray water. It's just water from washing dishes or taking a shower. That would just go into the drain and into the ground. Let's see here. Some SUVs can immediately have a flat space when you fold the middle seat. Yeah, it would be cool if my my bench seat and my middle seats all folded down flat, and I could just have just throw something flat on top of those. But really though, that back bench seat, I need the storage space, because sometimes I move stuff around, some boxes and stuff. And so that bench seat was usually just in the way and unnecessary, so I'm glad that it's out. Brandon says, what would the Japanese in the past have said if they knew that their descendants could now live in a 12 square meter room with a bathroom? They'd probably they'd probably think it was unbelievable. Impossible. They would think there's no way that anybody can live in such a space. Especially, some of them might even think way back then, having a bathroom in the same room where you sleep and where you cook, you know, like in the same small area, they'd probably think that was crazy, right? An efficiency apartment, right? Sleep and cook and crap all in the same basic area. They'd probably think that was crazy. So there are two ways to go out of here. I could have kept going straight, but it's the longer way out, so I usually just turn around in my neighbor's driveway. And right here is where I normally park, right next to my Kura on the side of the road, and then I just, you know, put my side view mirrors in and try to give them as much room. There's plenty of room on this, between the Kura and the fence over here on this road to go by, so it's no big deal. Even the delivery trucks, the big trucks, can go by, so it's all good. I just don't feel like walking all the way down here to park, you know, just to have my van out here, and there's no light out here either. And on top of that, like I mentioned, that old tree has been falling apart slowly, and I don't want one of those limbs to fall and damage my van. Now's the best opportunity, or the best time rather, for me to use the toilet at the convenience store, because it is getting to be later in the day. So if I can use the toilet now, then I don't have to worry about really having to use it later tonight or early in the morning. Like I said, if I need to use the toilet for more than just peeing, then I have to go to the convenience store. Under normal circumstances, I could just use the squat toilet in my Kura, but because of that stupid blood clot in my leg, I still don't have enough flexibility and strength in my left leg to properly squat down. And because of that, using the squat toilet is practically impossible. I tried to do it several days ago. That's why I see a couple of messages on there in the chat, but you're gonna have to give me a few moments, if you don't mind, get to where I'm going, and then I'll take a look. I don't know about you guys, but it's easy for me to get motion sickness. It's not a big deal when I'm driving, but if I'm riding in a car, not driving, it's very easy for me to get motion sickness. And if I look at my phone while the car is moving, or if I read something while the car is moving, it's like 10 times faster and 10 times easier for me to get motion sickness. So I can't read anything or look at anything while I'm in the car. I really hate being a passenger in a car or a taxi getting the piece of plywood from the hardware store. But there's no need to do that right now because I can't fix that up tonight, so there's no point in getting it now. Just gonna go down to the convenience store. Pick up a couple of little things. Then I'll be done. We'll say goodbye down there, I guess. What I'll probably do with in the van is design it, build it, and shoot all of that, and then share it with you later, not on a live video, but just a regular video. Tomorrow is Sunday here in Japan, and I have a date for a Thanksgiving dinner. I know that Thanksgiving was 2 days ago, but when you're in Japan and you want to have like a Western style or American style holiday dinner, like a turkey dinner, if you check around at some of the hotels and even some of the foreign bar and grills, sometimes you can find these holiday dinners, and I found one at a hotel. So it was from Thursday until tomorrow. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it's like a Thanksgiving holiday buffet. And so I'm going to go there tomorrow. Let me see if I can turn this around. No. Try again. I'm trying to turn it around with my gloves on, turn the camera around, but I have to take my glove off. There we go. Okay, but anyway, so I'm gonna go down to the hotel, to their restaurant, their buffet restaurant, with my girlfriend tomorrow evening for dinner, and we're gonna have a turkey and all-you-can-eat buffet, which it won't be much for me. The main thing is to have the turkey and be with her and enjoy a holiday dinner, just the two of us. And then on Monday, I will attend an appointment for some more dental work. My teeth are so much better than they were before. I had some fillings that had become damaged and come out, and I had some holes just exposed. The dentist has been fixing all of those, so I'm very happy that my teeth are looking much better than they were before. Very happy about that, and all of the stains that were there, especially from the coffee. There was one particular coffee that I bought about a year ago. It was like an instant coffee, and I don't know why, but it was very, very staining. It was, I know that they say, well, yeah, coffee stains your teeth and tea stains your teeth. Yeah, but when you get a coffee and it stains your teeth like really bad, really fast within just like 2 weeks, then I don't get that. I think there's something weird about that coffee. Like there's a dye in it or something. And no matter how much I scrubbed and cleaned my teeth, I couldn't get those stains out. Probably if you go back to some of my old videos from just a few months ago, you'll notice that I had these bad stains in my teeth, and those are all gone. All gone now. So the doctor was able to take care of all that. And tomorrow I have one more tooth back here in the back that has a filling that needs to be repaired. He's already cleaned it out, and he put a temporary filling in there. On Monday, he's gonna go back and put the permanent one in and color it so that it matches the rest of my teeth. So maybe it sounds like a basic thing for you, but coming from my family, I was never taken to the dentist regularly, only if it was an emergency. That's the only time I ever got to go to the doctor or the dentist or anything like that when I was a kid, is if there was an emergency, then I could go. But otherwise, it was just deal with it. So me being able to go to the dentist and have good insurance here in Japan, that's something I've been really happy about. It feels cool to be able to go into the dentist and have a lot of work done in your tooth and have a filling put in and have it fixed and everything, and then when you leave you only pay like $14. It's awesome. So something to be said for the insurance here. Let's see here. Brandon also says, what would the Japanese in the past have... Oh, you read that earlier. Yeah. Ron. Oh, hey, Ron. How's it going? If you're still in here, I appreciate you dropping in. Ron is a friend of mine from Tokyo. Well, he's originally Canadian. He's from Canada. He's from Canada, but he's in Tokyo, and I met him there. So, how's it going? Keep driving. It sounds to me like you've got a dual meaning there. Not just driving, but also keep driving in life. Keep going. Keep driving. And that's good advice. I don't know if you guys want to go into 7-Eleven with me. They've got the Christmas tree up in here, so that's pretty cool. But I don't have my gimbal. I would have to just hold my phone, so it might be a little awkward. Perhaps we can just wrap the video up here. But since I'm not going to be shooting anything tomorrow, I will probably I've got my afternoon appointment on Monday. If you guys are interested, maybe I'll do a short live video when I'm in Hiroshima on Monday. I get to stay at the hotel until as late as noon on Monday, and I don't have to be at my dental appointment until 2. So what I'm going to do is sleep late and rest and not go anywhere for as long as possible. I'll just stay at the hotel. And then when I leave there, probably just go straight to the dental office, the dentist's office, and just wait until my appointment. And after that's finished, do something else on the way back to the house. But if something comes up that I think you guys might be interested in, or if I want to do an update about something, then I'll let you know and I'll do a video. But I'm not going to be shooting anything. Oh, I saw her looking at me. I'm not going to be doing shooting and preparing any particular special video before Monday, so you won't see anything else until Monday or Tuesday at the earliest. And anyway, until then, I appreciate you joining me, and I hope you guys have a really good weekend, what's left of it. And remember to like and subscribe, leave some good comments. And I'll remind you again that right now I only have like 5 or less entries for my giveaway. If you're very interested in winning my Thanksgiving celebration box for getting monetized on YouTube, I'm giving away some prizes in one box to one winner, and that contest is going on until the end of November 30th, Japan time. If you have not entered, please go enter. Like I said, right now I have less than 5 entries. So even if I had double that, the chances are still pretty good that you can win. I mean, where else do you get the chance to, such good odds of winning something? Even if I wind up with 10 people, you still have a 10% chance, a 1 in 10 chance of winning. That's pretty good. So I highly encourage you to enter the giveaway. If you want to see the rules, you have to go to my live video that I did. Go click on my channel, click on live, and then look for the giveaway video. And in the description, it gives the rules. Follow the rules, enter the contest, and then I will be doing the drawing after it closes, after November 30th. On December 1st, I'll do the random drawing for the winner, and then announce it after that. So anyway. Yeah, Brandon, thank you too. You're welcome to itashimashite. And Peppy, yeah, you have a great day too, or night. I think you told me before where you're at, and I'm drawing a blank, but have a great morning, afternoon, or evening, all of you. I appreciate you being here. Mwah. Love you very much. Arigatou gozaimasu, and thank you. Ja ne. Bye-bye.